Hey guys, how you doing? I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for checking out today's video on WKKanji. And if you like it, please remember to leave a like and a comment. Don't forget to subscribe for future videos, and without further ado, let's get into today's video. It's no secret that people loved the Goku Black and ZAMASU arc, for the most part. The trouble with the arc was that it was spoiled for most of us in hindsight because of the abysmal ending. I'm sorry, but Trunks and Mai going off to live with Trunks and Mai in an alternate timeline is just not the happy ending I had in mind when I pictured future Trunks returning. But what if I told you there was an obviously brilliant ending sat in front of our eyes the entire time, that Toei, Toriyama and Toyotaro all collectively missed, and in my opinion this is honestly the best ending possible for future Trunks. It ties up plot from previous arcs, and it wraps it up with a heartfelt satisfying bow. Future Trunks is a character who is riddled with trauma and awful experiences, but he never gives up hope. And in many ways, an exciting way to view his character is that his timeline was never supposed to get better. It was always destined for ruin. His timeline was always supposed to be grim, harsh and deadly, which would have been a great thing to have him realise after the Goku Black struggle. It's almost as if fate itself doesn't allow Trunks' timeline to have a happy ending after the androids. Perhaps this was due to the intervention of time travel, who knows. So once the threat of the androids is finished, there are a few years of peace, but it's not too long before Goku Black's arc begins, once again intending to eradicate Trunks' happiness and turn his timeline to ruin. Even with this being a viable consideration or of a factor of the story, a chance was missed to have a wonderful ending. Trunks spent his adolescence hating the androids, being bent on destroying them, and having no family other than his mother to share in his hatred of them. And after the death of Gohan, no friends either. In his eyes, they were pure evil monsters, who couldn't be reasoned with and they were only good for scrap. Hell, they killed his father and his best friend Gohan. However, upon returning to the present timeline during the Goku Black arc, he witnessed further showings of the androids actually being good people. Of course, back in Z he had perplexed feelings towards Android 16, who showed no harm to anybody but Cell, and he even ended up teaming up with them for the Cell games. But after Trunks' return to the present, Trunks met Android 18 again, only this time, she was playful with him. She even chuckled about the fact that she hears that he killed her in his timeline. She doesn't care. Trunks is confused about this, but of course he still feels uncomfortable. But now he's even more perplexed because he knows Krillin married and had an offspring with her. How could somebody so caring marry something so evil in his eyes? Had he been wrong to judge her this entire time? Perhaps it was Android 17 that corrupted Android 18 in his timeline, whereas both 18 and 16 would have been peaceful units without 17's influence. It's all very confusing to Trunks at this point. Flash forward to the end of the ZAMASU arc, and Trunks has split ZAMASU in two, Goku has pressed the Zeno button, and everything was erased and the cast have arrived back in the present timeline with the good news. Well, the only thing is of course that Trunks' timeline was erased, that bit's not good news. So upon travelling back there, they've got nothing but Zeno floating aimlessly upside down like a weeble that wobbled and did fall down. So Goku brings him home to the two Omni Kings, and they can be together. Trunks and Mai are of course still homeless at this point. Here's where the story and ending should have gone. What should have happened is Trunks should have begged Beerus and Whis permission to stay within their timeline and call it a home. Trunks and Mai were already acquainted with the people that lived there, it made sense. He could even vow and help to be a contributing member of their timeline. Beerus would accept this offer on the condition of no more time travel, as he still hasn't forgiven him for the initial bout. Time would roll on as normal, and Trunks and Mai settle into their new homes and form a peaceful life together. As the Tournament of Power rolls up in time, they recruit their team for the tournament. This time, Android 17 is recruited for the team, but Trunks hates the idea. He would refuse to work alongside him, but with Krillin and 18's assurances he would reluctantly agree to be on the same team. But Trunks wouldn't want anything to do with 17 unless completely necessary. Trunks himself would likely take Ten Shinhan's position on the team, and would offer his help to Beerus as an apology for messing with time and causing problems during the Black arc. Beerus would gladly accept this and would probably actually have a little bit of admiration for Trunks for remembering this and trying to make it up to Beerus. Skipping forward, the tournament would begin. Gohan would be the captain and would likely opt to work with Trunks and Piccolo together during the Tournament of Power, knowing he could rely on them. Now Android 17, being the playful guy he is, would likely tease Trunks throughout the tournament with one-liners here and there about destroying the world when he's done, trying to get under Trunks' skin. Trunks would probably know that most of these were jokes, but he would still take a lot of offense in them. Trunks would survive in the tournament much longer than Ten Shinhan would, likely dropping out around the same time that Dispo and Gohan drop out. Regardless of the circumstances, during the tournament, Trunks would begin to see signs of Android 17 being a good person, whether it's because he's saving people from dropping out or whatever, conflicting his own emotions and perceptions even more about the androids. The tournament would end the same way, only this time, before 17 makes his wish, he would look at Trunks in the face, sat in the bleachers. The same way that he does with Goku and the others, but he'd focus on Trunks. 17 would then wish for all the erased universes to be wished back. This in turn would show Trunks just how different these androids are. They did something completely selfless, and rather than being bent on destruction, actually did some restoration. This would show him that he was completely wrong about 17 corrupting 18 and 16, and just again would leave him even more befuddled. The group would return to Capsule Corp, and Trunks and 17 would have a brief heart-to-heart before going their separate ways. Trunks would admit he was wrong to judge these androids based on the ones from his timeline. Just as Goku Black was different from Goku before they knew about ZAMASU's influence, I doubt Android 17 would say much here in response, but he'd probably just smile and shake Trunks' hand. Beerus would then make another one of his superlative suggestions as he did in the previous arc, and would suggest that Trunks and Mai attempt to check if their timeline was restored due to the wish. Trunks would probably doubt it because his timeline was a timeline and not a universe, but Beerus would take offense to the doubting once again as he did in the Goku Black arc and asked him to check anyway. Upon returning to their timeline, Trunks and Mai would not only find that their world was restored, but in fact would also find all of the old cast revived. Bulma, Vegeta, anybody who died from the hands of the androids or Goku Black. And standing tall at the back of the crowd of revived cast members and characters would be his best friend, Gohan, smiling. And with this ending, not only would Trunks get his happy ending that we'd all longed to see him have since Dragon Ball Z, he would have settled down with Mai and got all of his friends back, but it also means his timeline would have been saved by the androids who originally destroyed it. Okay, not exactly the same androids, but it's still pretty poetic, let me have this one. This, in my opinion, would have been a brilliant, perhaps even perfect ending for Trunks. And honestly, I think it beats the crap out of Trunks and Mai going off to live in a timeline with another two of them already existing. But honestly, what do you guys think? Would you have preferred this ending, or do you prefer the ending we got? Does future Trunks deserve his happy ending, and does it make it better if it's at the hands of Android 17 and 18 from the present? And finally, do you think that because of this ending, they should potentially think about bringing Trunks and Mai back again in future, just to give them a proper satisfying ending akin to something like this? Or do you think they should just leave them now because the previous ending didn't do them any favours? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, and remember to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, as it really does help the channel out and I really appreciate that. And if you do like it and want to see more, subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of all new Dragon Ball videos on the channel. And until we meet again, bye!